Coffee and Headlines is brought to you by the generous support of our viewers and the following community partners: Best Court Cutting TV, Buforge Tax Preparation, Bravos Restaurant Bar, El Rey Lounge de Versalles, Joint Boutique Hotel and Co-work, Monson Brewing Company, Puerto Vallarta Neurofeedback, Puerto Vallarta Owners Reps, and Siam Cocina Thai. Thank you for your support, and thank you for supporting our community partners.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines. It's Monday, July 7th, and there is so many news. There's a lot to talk about. But first, welcome. If you'd like to learn more about what's going on in Puerto Vallarta, with a little bit of what's going on in our state and in our country, this is a place to be, whether it is coffee that you're drinking or whatever your beverage of choice is. I have something for you. And of course, as always, I'm eager to hear how your weekend was, how close you are to coming back to Puerto Vallarta, or if you are in Puerto Vallarta, what is keeping you busy? Or what are you thinking about in terms of what to do and how to expand your comfort level as you navigate our city as an English-speaking person? Today, we have, oh my goodness, so many things to talk about. So I'm just going to get started with the news and we'll take it from there. This one has a lot of people rolling their eyes in disgust. The Jalisco State Secretariat of the Environment and Territorial Development filed a criminal complaint within the Attorney General's office after the discovery of a mutilated crocodile body at the El Salado Estuary here in Puerto Vallarta. According to an official statement, Elios Hernandez, head of the estuaries team, said on Friday, July 4, that park personnel received a citizen report alerting them to the presence of the reptile's corpse in a mangrove area. Apparently, the individuals violated the protected natural area on the El Triunfo Gallery side, next to Francisco Medina Asensio, broke the fence and entered the mangrove, posing the risk of entering a mangrove area where there are crocodiles. Upon arriving at the site, city officials confirmed the presence of the animal, whose body showed signs of violence. Its head and tail had been mutilated, but were not found at the site. Who would do this? Nobody knows, and I hope they find them. It is worth recalling that there are around 300 specimens in Banderas Bay, of which 45 are registered adult crocodiles, and El Salado Estuary has approximately 60 specimens of various sizes. Young crocodiles are particularly vulnerable to attacks and, makes you want to roll your head. Where is our head roller? Here she is. Let's roll our eyes for this one. And we're going to roll our eyes for the next one too. Why? Because who on earth has a pet lion and who on earth goes sauntering around Puerto Vallarta with their pet lion? Really? Apparently, citizens and tourists in downtown Puerto Vallarta experienced moments of tension and astonishment when they encountered a young lion wandering through the street with a couple trying to restrain it to prevent a possible tragedy. Videos shared on social media show a woman, apparently its owner, trying to control the feline, which swipes at the air in what appears to be an attempt to escape, alarming those onlookers. The incident prompted the mobilization of municipal police officers, highway patrol officers, and green patrol personnel. However, so far, local authorities have not issued an official statement regarding the incident, nor has it been confirmed whether they have located the couple or whether the animal has been seized. And I saw those videos yesterday, and you can clearly tell that the animal, which is almost hip height, is trying to escape, and when the woman is trying to restrain him, you can't tell if the lion is being playful or is getting testy. One way or another, it is very irresponsible to have an animal like this as a pet anywhere in the world. Good news, the modernization of Puerto Vallarta's northern entrance is moving forward strongly. The Jalisco State Ministry of Infrastructure and Public Works reported a 6% progress in the construction of the Las Juntas Interchange, which is one of the tragic, well, it is tragic right now because of the traffic that it creates, but the strategic, this interchange is one of the strategic projects to improve traffic flow in this city of ours. And meanwhile, the Marina Vallarta Residents Association has been working on a sidewalk reconstruction or repair program aimed at ensuring safety for all pedestrians on the various roads in the neighborhood. Repair work has focused so far on several major avenues, such as Paseo de la Marina Sur, Albatros, and Pelícanos, among others. And also, a significant stretch of sidewalk was also rebuilt on Francisco Medina Asensio to provide pedestrian safety. One of the nice things about the Marina Vallarta Neighborhood Association is they know how to take care of themselves and of the residents. Elsewhere in the city, patchwork has begun at some strategic points, including Francisco Medina Asensio Avenue, which we reported earlier. We appreciate the patience and understanding of people, says the city, while the works are being carried out. Asphalt patching has begun at places including the Villas Rio neighborhood, Leandro Valle neighborhood, and Francisco Medina Asensio, as we mentioned earlier, and State Highway 544, among others. This is all great news for Puerto Vallarta. And here's something fun that was submitted or published by Banderas News. The Environmental Sustainability Office, under the leadership of Mayor Munguia, has opened a call for residents to nominate trees of heritage value for permanent legal protection. The initiative began on June 28 and runs through July 31st, inviting citizens to help preserve the city's natural heritage. Anyone can submit a nomination. All you have to do is you want to email a photo of the tree and its exact location to the address located on this news item. Eligible trees must be in public use areas, and there's no limit to the number of nominations one person can make. So here's something that anyone can do. If you want to grab your camera or your cell phone and just snap a few photographs of trees that you think are gorgeous and should never be torn down, let's keep our fingers crossed. Now, Mother Nature decided to crash the Amapas Neighborhood Association's cleanup party this month, so they're switching gears. Instead of sweeping the street, they're sweeping the tech from our homes. The volunteers are taking their superhero powers indoors for a special digital dumpster mission. So if you have any old phones, laptops, printers, monitors, and other tech gadgets that you don't use and are just sitting around your house and you've been wondering how to dispose of them, here is a way to do it. There is a drop-off location at the Amapas Neighborhood Association office, and all the details can be found in this Banderas news item. In good news for our state, Jalisco, our state is welcoming a growing number of Canadian visitors, with over 258,000 having arrived in the first half of 2025. This represents a 5% increase from the previous year. Tourism Minister Michelle Friedman highlights Jalisco's unique appeal, calling it the most Mexican destination of all, as the birthplace of tequila, mariachi, and charreria. The state offers visitors a truly authentic cultural experience. But for more details on why this increase is taking place, Banderas News presents a comprehensive analysis in English, of course, and the website where you can find this information will be included in our show notes as usual. And I left a bunch of news aside for tomorrow, but in anticipation, I do want to touch base on something that we're going to talk about more tomorrow, which is Mexico City is or has had enough with gentrification. There was a march, a protest rather, against gentrification this weekend. Hundreds of Mexican residents took to the streets on Friday, July 4, U.S. Independence Day, to protest rampant gentrification, particularly in popular neighborhoods like Colonia Roma and Condesa. The demonstration primarily driven by concerns over soaring rents and the displacement of long-term residents due to an influx of foreign, often American, digital nomads, so both peaceful protests and acts of vandalism. Chanting slogans of gringos out in Mexico for Mexicans or Spanish is spoken here, protesters expressed frustration over their inability to afford living in their traditional communities. Many held signs demanding foreigners pay taxes, learn Spanish, and respect the local culture. While the march began peacefully, a smaller group of masked individuals reportedly engaged in property damage, smashing windows and looting businesses and confronting foreign tourists. Police were deployed, notably around the U.S. Embassy, which was also targeted. Mexico City Government Secretary Cesar Cravioto condemned the violent acts, labeled them as xenophobic expressions. The protest, however, underscores rising tensions in global cities grappling with the impact of mass tourism and foreign residency on local housing markets and cultural dynamics. That's a tough one. And it's happening everywhere. Of course, it happens a lot in Puerto Vallarta, in case you haven't noticed. And local officials turned the other way because Puerto Vallarta is such a magnet for foreign tourism. But it is challenging. It is challenging. You tell me what you think about this issue. And more importantly, think what you think you can or should do as an English-speaking foreigner to avoid being labeled against this. I have a few suggestions, but I'm just curious how this makes you feel as part of a community here in Puerto Vallarta that has such a large English-speaking population. Let us turn over to the weather and see what's going on after last night's formidable storm. My goodness, that was loud and windy and strong. Let's see what's going on. But first, in anticipation of my presentation this Thursday, my dear friend B. Steinway wants to make a statement. Where is he? There you go.
Hello. Name's B. Steinway. Born 1891, New York City. I'm what you call a Model B grand piano. 7 feet of class, sass, and 88 keys of pure personality. I've been around the block. I've played concert halls, jazz joints, and once, a wedding where someone tied balloons to my bench. Balloons. I've seen it all, from Chopin in silk gloves to students pounding out chopsticks with greasy fingers. And don't get me started on these modern keyboards with 1,000 voices and flashing lights. Cute, but I only need one voice, mine. And honey, it still turns heads. What's wild is, I'm still discovering new sounds, new feels. From the dreamy fingers of Bill Evans to the fire of Kapustin to the absolute chaos, blessed chaos, of Hiromi. So if you think pianos peaked in 1889, think again. Come hear me in action at Paco's newest music appreciation soiree. Look ma, it's a piano! Modern masterpieces for the keyboard curious. Thursday, July 10th. At the Joint Boutique Hotel and Co-work, 5 p.m. sharp. I've still got it, and I'm ready to show off.
Now. The star of my presentation, of course, will be the piano, the modern piano, and how it survives and continues to be a source of inspiration for so many amazing composers and musicians. But first, let's talk about the weather. Tell me how much you love me and tell me out loud, says Snarky Weather. Well, you can also tell me how much you love me, but you don't have to. Boom, boom. 28 degrees right now. Humidity is at 76%. There's a nice breeze coming in through my window. Oh no, that's my Wuzu fan sitting next to me. And that also deserves a boom, boom if I can find it. There you go. Our weather forecast for today says we're going to enjoy overcast skies in the morning with thunderstorms in the afternoon, a chance of rain of 54%, a high temperature of 32, and a low temperature of 24. Then tomorrow, scattered thunderstorms are possible with a chance of rain of 54%, a high temperature of 32, and a low of 24. And then Wednesday, more scattered thunderstorms are possible with a chance of rain of 87%, a high of 31, and a low of 24. No news of new and spectacular storms developing on the Pacific, but I am sure that will happen. Okay, so we just heard about my friend B. Steinway, or Steinway Model B, about my upcoming music appreciation presentation. And I'm excited about this because we may feature music that you don't like or that you don't know. But what's important here is how amazing it is that new music continues to be created for the piano that sounds fresh and original even after close to a century and a half of being around as a modern piano. That is not even counting the harpsichords and keyboards that preceded it, which were originated in the 1700s. But you already knew that because I've been talking about this. I am just excited about this. And of course, this is combined with my birthday. I decided I'm going to treat myself to talking about my favorite instrument. But I have things all figured out for what is coming next. I had already announced this one, which has to do with the story of Motown Records. I've selected 10 seminal recordings that define the initial appearance and evolution of Motown Records as a stronghold in the soul music industry. And then after that, I always want to talk about music that either I know or I want to know or that has a compelling story. And last night, I couldn't go to bed until like 2 o'clock in the morning because my light bulb went on. My first presentation in August will be House Rules, the rise of house music from a Chicago basement to global beats. Why house? Because it's infectious, it's fun, it invites the body to move, and the story behind the birth of house music is absolutely fascinating. So that's what we're going to tackle on August 7. And then my second one for August is going to be Strings of Light, the musical journey of Pat Metheny. This will be on August 21st in anticipation to going to hear Pat Metheny live in September with a few friends from Puerto Vallarta. I figured I could use a little revisiting of some of his music. And even if you're not going to attend this great performance in Guadalajara, but are curious about this painterly musician who tells absolutely phenomenal stories with sound, you may want to join me for Strings of Light, the musical journey of Pat Metheny. August 21st. Still a month and a half away, but I'm already excited. And with that, let us take a look at what you're up to. Time to look at your comments. Boom, boom, boom. Good mornings to all of you that say good morning. Thank you very much for that. And yes, Laura, the crocodile thing is just bad news. Bad news. There's a queue. Is that even legal? I think these animals belong in their natural habitat. In Mexico, I don't think it's legal to have a pet lion. I could be wrong, but even if you could, why on earth would you have a pet lion? Beats the beep out of me. Let's see what else. Oh, Muffin. These first two stories certainly aren't helping me restore my faith in humanity. I hear you, I appreciate you, but I think they're important stories to tell. So I hope that your faith in humanity got restored by the time I announced house music, maybe? Because I know you like house. It's going to be fun. We'll be able to stand up and dance. Let's see. Oh, an eyewitness report says community partner Stan, who, oh, by the way, thank you, Stan. I went to neurofeedback on Saturday, and it was the perfect way to end my work week. Stan runs Puerto Vallarta neurofeedback and is amazing. Just wonderful for your well-being. Anyhow, Stan was at Home Depot Sunday morning and admired the construction of the elevated roads. Seemed to be moving along nicely. I certainly hope it continues to progress and it is delivered on schedule. Albert, it is great to see you. I heard through the grapevine that it's been a bit rough. Good wishes for you for a healthy recovery. I hope you continue to heal. Let's see what else. La la la. Ti-di-ti-ti. Ti-di-ti-ti. Let's see what else. I'm looking for cues. More cues, maybe? In the last week, I've seen a baby grand piano and a grand piano on Facebook Marketplace, both for free? Here in Puerto Vallarta? Seriously? That's curious. Let's see. Gary says, support local businesses, community involvement, cultural sensitivity by approaching the issue with empathy and a willingness to create a balanced environment. That is such a beautiful answer. That is something we can all do to bridge this gentrification divide. And I know, Gary, you travel through Mexico a lot and frequently. I'm sure you've seen it all, from places where foreign visitors are welcome and from places where maybe less considerate visitors have made things a bit more challenging for Mexican nationals. It's not pretty wherever you go, but I'm glad that there are people around with inspiring viewpoints such as yours. Thank you for sharing. Let's see. Oh, that's a good pun, Albert. Motown, I have so much respect for the company. Albert adds, I used 3 albums of Pat Metheny to knock out the sound during my last hospital stay. It was magical and perfect. That is a beautiful comment. A big shout out to the Mexican rescuers helping in the Texas floods. What a challenging situation. Oh my goodness. I've been watching the news and Mother Nature. Let's see. Peter Caesar comments from YouTube. Hello. Good morning, Paco. I have seen a lot of changing in Puerto Vallarta since coming here for the last 20 years. Maybe it could happen here too. Who knows? Yep, there's been a lot of change, some for the better, some up to opinions, and I'm going to leave it at that. I think we can all learn a little bit about that. In Canada are the free pianos. Well, that's probably a good thing. Chris, who would want to have a grand piano in Puerto Vallarta unless you have a humidity-controlled environment and access to a good tuner? This is not a place for an acoustic instrument, I should say. And this this brings me to the end of today. And we have so many things to do. I have to put finishing touches on Thursday, which I'm excited about. I forgot to mention that Wednesday is our day to record spotlight interviews, and we don't have anybody registered to do a spotlight interview this Wednesday. Remember, these are opportunities to toot your own horn, promote what you're up to, and do so free of charge. All you have to do is sign up, and the information is always in the show notes. And we tape these interviews on Wednesdays at 4 o'clock at the Joint Boutique Hotel and Co-work. And that is all I have for you. I hope you have a great beginning of the week. I will see you here tomorrow morning for more coffee, more headlines, and more stories. Take care.